Welcome back to my channel. My name's Leonie, aka Stitching Noni, and this is my YouTube channel all about my cross-stitching journey. Today is Tuesday the 28th of October 2025 and I'm back for a weekly update. This will be the third video in a row, so tick tick tick, I'm getting there. I'm starting to get into a routine here. So hopefully this will now be my routine, that every Tuesday morning I will record my video and hopefully edit and have it up by Tuesday afternoon. Just as a little aside there to keep me accountable. Flosstube number 62. Whip update will be from Tuesday the 21st of October through to Monday the 27th of October. My weekly stitches for the week is 3,493 stitches, so pretty good. Quite happy with that. Month to date is pretty awesome. So 11,992 stitches so far this month, and we've still got 28, 29, 30, 31, 4 more days to go. Awesome. Year to date, I have managed 104,595 stitches. So yeah, pretty happy with that. So in the past week, I've worked on 7 projects. So I'm going to show you the 7 projects I've worked on. In sort of chronological order, sort of, but well, it doesn't matter how you see them, you're just going to see them. Project number 1 is the HAED Sale 2024 Bernadette, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Lorenz. So I'll put up pictures as I'm talking, obviously, about this. This is stitched on 25 count easy guide 1/1 with DMC full cross. Size is 275 wide by 238 high, which equals 65,450 stitches. My goal for 2025 is to finish it at 100%. Where am I at? Well, last week I did a reveal of the whole picture so far, so to speak, because I took the Q-snap off and I needed to move it anyway. So I took the Q-snap off and I've showed you where I'm at. And at last week's video, I was at 92%, so I had done 60,215 stitches. I've added another 993 stitches in the last week. So that was on Tuesday, Wednesday last week. And I am now at 61,154 stitches in total, which is 93.44%. So not far to go now. 4,296 stitches is all I have left to do. It will definitely be done by the end of the year. I'm just so happy about that. She is looking awesome. So obviously, when I shouldn't say obviously, when I moved the Q-snap, I had got sort of to this point here, and I needed to move the Q-snap to get over to here. So what I've done is I've actually come over here now, and I'm going to work my way back this way. And yes, there's going to be a lot of that background in there, but that's okay. That's okay. We're going to get this done. So she's looking pretty cool. I'm really pleased with how she is looking. She just looks absolutely awesome, and she's doing so well. She's a good girl. She will be finished. Okay, project number 1 down. Second project I worked on in the last week was my Story Keep brush with Magick. I forgot to say, I started that on the 2nd of January 2024. So I've got all these notes everywhere and I still miss to say things. It's like, oh well, it's okay. This one is Story Keep a brush with Magick. It is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. The artist is Lisa Parker. I started this one on the 21st of December 2020. It is stitched on 25 count Lugana in 1/1 DMC full cross. The size is 150 wide by 519 high, which gives you a total of 77,850 stitches. My 2025 goal is 50%. Now, I've fiddled with that goal a couple of times this year. I aimed a bit too high, so I've brought it down. I'm happy with the fact that I'm going for 50% this year, with 20, and add another 25 next year, and aim to finish in 2027. So when I showed it to you in the last video, I was at 37,991 stitches, and that was 48.80%. I only had this out this week for a day, so I managed to get 365 stitches in it, which is now bringing me up to 38,356 stitches, or 49.27%. I am so close now. 569 stitches is all I need to do. I think I will try and get that by the end of the month. That would be fantastic, because then everything else I put in November and December on this will be getting me towards my next goal. We'll see how we go. But I did, one of the things I would like to do is actually finish this on the 31st of December, sorry, 31st of October for a Halloween sort of thing, but we'll see. But if I can get another 569 stitches in before the 31st of October, I will be so happy. So where did I work on it this time round? Well, with the before picture, you will sort of see, and I need to actually, you have a look at that while I go to my picture, because I did work a little bit all over the place. So I do need to try and work out what I did. Okay, so I did a little bit more filling in here. You'll have that picture up anyway. I did come over here and do a little bit more filling in here. And what else did I do? Oh, here. That's it. So that's where I've worked. So I'm a little bit all over the place at the moment because I'm picking a symbol and then trying to fill in as much of it as I can to complete sort of this. I'm really aiming to complete this area, and then that way I can move the Q snap and work down here. But I just adore this. Absolutely adore it. Those eyes are just gorgeous. And apparently it was Black Cat Appreciation Day yesterday. So this is close to a black cat. Yes, the shading's there, but I would say this could be a black cat. Adorable, absolutely adorable. So really pleased with the way that's going. Very, very pleased. Right, next one. That brought me up to Friday. So Friday, I bring out my Stitches So Beautiful one, which is Flamingo in Flowers, which is, as I mentioned, a Stitches So Beautiful charting. The artist is Eder Rosa. I started this on the 6th of June 2025. It is stitched on 25 count easy guide 1/1 full cross. The size is 160 wide by 400 high, which is total stitches of 64,000. My goal for 2025 is 10%, which would be 6,400 stitches. Last time I showed this, last week, it was at 6,172 stitches, or 9.64%. I did on Friday 513 stitches, which hit my 10% goal. So I'm now sitting at 6,885 stitches, which is 10.45%. So I'm now working towards the next goal of 15%. And here we are here. Now, what did I do? Where did I work? Well, as you will see when you see the before picture, I've done mostly 939, and I'm working all around in here to get that 939 all done. And then I'll go back in and do some more filling. I don't think I did many other colours. I'm pretty sure I did just 939. Doesn't it look stunning? Just absolutely love this. And as I've mentioned before, that is the full width of the project. Absolutely stunning. So this will be out again on Friday, with the aim to get another 400 or 500 stitches in. It just depends on whether I stitch on it in the afternoon into the evening, or whether I just stitch on it for the afternoon or just at night and I do something else. It really just depends on what happens on the day as to how much I get. But yeah, if I can get another 500 stitches in, I'll be really happy. Okie dokie. So in my last video, I mentioned I was going to try and spend a bit more time on Haunted House for this week, being sort of leading up to Halloween. I have managed to get a couple of more stitches in to Haunted House. So this is Haunted House artwork by Dona Gelsinger, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I started Haunted House on the 24th of December 2023. Yeah, I know I started a Halloween project on Christmas Eve, but you know, that was just the way it worked out. This is stitched on 28 count Lugana, 1/1 full cross with DMC. The size of this project, I think this is pretty much one of my biggest ones. It is 625 wide by 833 high, 520,625 stitches in total. My goal for 2025 is 3%, which would be 15,619 stitches. When I showed it to you in my last video, when I'd worked on it on the 13th of October for its day in the sun, I was at 13,149 stitches, which is 2.53%. I have now added another 693 stitches. So for 2 days I did this, which has brought me up to 13,842 stitches. So I'm sitting at 2.66%. All I have to do to get my goal for this one for this year is another 1,777 stitches. That is so doable, especially as this is staying out for another couple of days yet. With a bit of luck, I can get another 400 or 500 stitches on it, which would give me an extra sort of 1,000 for my week, which would be really happy with. It is a little bit slow going at times, but it's okay. I've just got to watch what I'm doing, and if I just pull my before picture up wherever I've lost it so I can see exactly what I was doing. Yes. So I just have to be a little bit careful because this is not gridded. I'm just making sure I don't go too far and I'm trying to fill in some blocks now. So obviously that purple bit I've filled in a little bit more sort of around here. So my 600 stitches is all fill in and stuff, I think. Yeah, it's basically all just filling it in. So my aim is to basically fill all this in. I've already got the one page finished. I thought the page break was there, but the page break's actually here. So I've actually got one page finished already on this. So I'm just now working towards that second page. But I like this. I really do enjoy stitching on it. I just have to be careful. And being a soft Lugana, sometimes the stitches slip, so it's double careful. But yep, love it. Love, love, love. Very happy with it. So if I can hit my 3% goal, not so much this at the end of this month, because you know I won't get 1,700 stitches in it before the end of the month, but I will certainly hit my goal next month. So that will be really awesome. Very, very happy with that one. Okay, next one is a long winter's nap. So a long winter's nap is also a Dona Gelsinger. It is charted by Heaven and Earth Design. Started on the 22nd of December 2024, and if you've watched a previous video, you'll know I've picked this because it reminds me of my dad, and so I'm sort of stitching it with him in mind. I stitch this on the 25th of every month. Sometimes I'll do 2 days, sometimes just the one. It just depends on what's going on. This time round, I did do 2 days. The chart is 40, sorry. That was not me, that was my dog, if you heard that. The chart is 400 wide by 314 high, which is 125,600 stitches. My 25 2025. 2025 goal is 5%, so that would be 6,280 stitches. The last time I showed this, I was at 5,199 stitches, which is 4.1%. This week I've done 519 stitches, 2 days of stitching on it, which has brought me up to 5,718 stitches, 4.55%. Now, I only have now 562 stitches left to get to my goal for 2025. And that will be done in November, because I'm going to make sure I've got that done. I'm just getting my before picture up. Okay, so before picture will show you that I have done a little bit of filling and roundabouts. So I've done some work in here and I've done some filling in here. So that's that one. That's not a lot I can say about that other than it's coming along. It's slow, but it's coming along. And I am very pleased that this one is on gridded fabric. This is on 28 count. No, 28 count? Yes. Yes, 28 count. Easy go. So very pleased that I did put this on gridded fabric. Okay. Next one, last but no, not quite. I've got one more, two more, sorry. So last night, yesterday was a busy day, so I didn't start stitching till about 4 o'clock. And I thought, well, I can pull out Haunted House to get some more stitches in. And my brain was like, I just don't think I can do that right now. So I thought, well, what can I do? So I had a look back through my goals, some of my other HAEDs and full coverage that I had goals on, to see what else was out there that I haven't touched for a while that probably would need to have some work done on it. And I went to pull out Mini Reading by Firefly Light. Only to find I haven't got it on a Q-snap. And I went, oh, I just can't be bothered putting that on a Q-snap right now, because I've taken it off and put Flamingo and flowers on the Q-snap that was on. And I'm like, oh, that means I've got to go make up some Q-snaps. And I just really just can't be bothered. So I went, well, you know what? I've got another one I haven't touched for quite some time. So maybe I need to pull that one out. It's only a small one, so it is a Story Keep. And this is the Story Keep wine shelf. I started this on the 3rd of August 2024, and it's not had a huge amount of stitches on it. It is charted by Heaven and Earth Design, and the designer is Aimee Stewart. Being a Story Keep, it is just a small section of the bigger design. I've actually got the bigger design, but I went and bought the Story Keep last year. I was doing something, I think it was Wit Warriors or something, where I needed to work on grapes and things for a prompt. And I'm like, I can't be bothered starting the big one. So I saw the smaller one and I went, I'll just start that. So I did. So this is stitched on 25 count, easy go 1/1 full cross DMC. Size is 112 wide by 329 high, which gives you 36,545 stitches, so quite small. My goal for this year is 10%. Yeah, 10%. Oh, which I thought was achievable. So that's 3,685 stitches. I did show this in my return video a couple of weeks ago, which I did like a mini whip parade, because I worked on this in May and also one other day during the earlier in the year. So at that point I was at 1,530 stitches, which is 4.15%. So I looked at it yesterday and I went, shall I pull it out and see how far I can get? So I did. And this is how far I got. Not very far. 383 stitches I managed to do yesterday, which now brings me up to 1,913 stitches in total, which is 5.19%. So all of a sudden I'm like, I'm halfway to my goal. I only got 1,772 stitches. So guess what I'm going to be doing? I'm keeping this out. I'm going to go for it and see if I can get my 1,700 stitches on this to get my 10% goal. Now, I did notice when I was looking through that I have my Pacos but there's an awful lot of gaps in them. So obviously when I kitted this up, I forgot that I was missing some threads, and I haven't ordered them or looked in my, or gone back to my stash and fiddled around, because I have since then kitted up some other projects, so there'll be potentially the thread in there now in my stash. So I will go back to that shortly today and see what I can fill in, because when I was starting to stitch this, all these little gaps in places I don't have the threads for. So what I did, and you will see from the before picture, is I've actually gone and carried all of the hanging threads down and moved them down a few rows, and then I've started doing some brown on here as well. But yeah, I did put a little bit of the lighter colour, which is that cloud and sky. So I'm going to go and see over the next few days if I can get my goal on this, along with working on Haunted House and my Friday stitch as well, and see how I go. We'll see you next week. See if I can achieve it. But yeah, quite happy. Quite happy. These needle minders are from Inchworm Designs. I had to have that one. So she's a needle minder maker who's on Etsy, but she's actually local in Perth. She's in the northern suburbs, and I often visit her site to see what else she's got. So I will be going back to have a look soon, because she must have some new ones by now. But yeah, so I'm going for a goal. I'm going to see if I can get my goal on that one. See how we go. See how we go. And now we're on the final one. So that's all the full coverage for this video. Now, in my video last week, I mentioned that I am now going to, every Thursday, going up to the clubhouse here. Excuse me. Going to the little meetup that the craft ladies do. So the first week I went, I didn't take any stitching because I wasn't sure what people did, and I just wanted to meet everybody. Last week I went up and took up some stitching, and I mentioned that I was going to probably take up my Lizzy Kate, which is what I did. So I got 81 stitches done, so I was only up there for about an hour and a half. So I was quite actually happy about that, because considering, you sit and chat. But I just sort of was sitting there and stitching while people were talking around me and stuff. So I'd sort of talk, but keep stitching. Now you'll see from the before picture that really all I've done is I've just filled in some more of the brown. I think it's 434 or something. I just filled in that. I've still got to rip this out and replace it, because I am replacing it with this dark brown, which is that one there. When I came up here, I've realized, and I had a funny feeling that there was something off here. Somewhere along the line here, I am one row too low, because there should be 2 rows there. But you know what? I'm not pulling anything out. I'm leaving it, because I can count off from here to do the rest of the lines if I need to. And if I have to, I can put an extra row up the top here too. So I'll work that one out when I get there. But yeah, 81 stitches, better than nothing. I'd like to get 100 while I'm up there every day, every week. So we'll see how we go. I was very tempted to actually finish this off for 100 when I got home on Thursday, but nah, put it away. So I started this on the 20th of May 2020, and it was, did I tell you what it was called? It's Be Kind, Be Happy, Be Well. The designer is Lizzy Kate. It was a freebie during the COVID period, where a lot of designers would put out some Be Well charts. So I did it for my Be Well week for Stitch Mania in 2020, which I think was probably my last real Stitch Mania I did. The fabric is 32 count Belfast, Misty Mountain Hot from Colour Cascade Fabrics. Now, the other thing I have to be very mindful of when I go up on Thursdays is we sit at just a table. There's no room for me to take a light and stuff. So I have to always be doing something that is small and easy to stitch on without a light, because the lighting is not fantastic. And that was the other thing that kept me a little bit slow, because, no real good light. So I was sort of sitting there going, oh, I think that's a hole. So I'm going to have to be very mindful of what I take up to do for those things. So I'm potentially going to just take up a whole little ones like this that are easy. There's not a lot of room, so I can sort of sit there with just my little bits around me and do it. And stuff maybe even just on some even weave rather than a Belfast to do it. But we'll see. We'll see. But at least I got 81 stitches in. It's better than it's sitting there for the last couple of weeks and having no stitches. So yes, so I'll take that back up on Thursday and we'll see how far we get this week. So that is all my whips and we're just on 25 minutes. This might be just over half an hour. I will aim to keep it half an hour if I can, or thereabouts. Well, 40 minutes, something like that. Weekly plans. So here we are today, being the 28th of October. So I've only got 4 days left of the month and I want to do Haunted House. So I want to try and get another 500 stitches in Haunted House before the end of the month. Friday will be my Flamingo stitch. I would like to, as I've mentioned, get another 500 or so stitches on Wine Shelf if I can. We'll see. We'll just see. I'm not going to get too stressed over it. A brush with Magick. I would like to get at least another 200 stitches in it between now and the end of the month, if I can. And obviously Thursday I'll be working on Be Kind, Be Happy, Be Well. We'll see if that's what pans out. Now, I'm toying with the idea of starting 6 portals on the weekend. I am in the process of putting all my threads on my Paco and I've got to cut the fabric. Yeah, we're getting there. So that's been the biggest thing, is getting myself kitted up, because it just takes so long. So it's what, 225, I think, colours in that. I think that's, I've got 4.5, well, I've got 5 Pacos out. And I think the 5th one's only half of it, but yeah, that's a lot of thread. So I'm toying with that idea that it will be, I can start that on the 1st of November, or 1st or 2nd, so somewhere on the weekend. So we'll see how we go. I'm not holding myself to that. Okay, so we're almost to an end. So November plans, as I mentioned, hopefully start 6 portals. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and have a look at all my full coverage that I've currently got. I want to see what I haven't either touched this year or haven't got a lot of work on this year, which is a few of them, like Quarantine Cats and Cat Race and stuff. So my thoughts are, if I have a look at them, grade them as to who needs the most work, and or I'm not sure how I'm going to do this yet, but either pick the one that needs the most work as the starting one and then work down the list and try and get 1,000 stitches on them, or put them on a wheel, spin the wheel and let destiny tell me, or the universe tell me, what I should be stitching on for 1,000 stitches. And I want to get 1,000 stitches in them. All of those ones I haven't touched. So we'll start with the one on my list, essentially, that I haven't touched at all, and then I can add in the rest of them as I go. But the ones I'm working on regularly won't be on my wheel. I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do. Still gelling it through, trying to work it out. Now, there's a bit of buzz around the Flosstube community, or at least in the Flosstubers I watch, about this thing called Flosstuber Frenzy or Flosstuber Challenge, which has been started by the Alchemist Stitcher. I saw it first on Carla's stitching journey. Then I went and watched Alchemist Stitcher's video where she talks about it. Now, I believe that Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter, is also doing it. I think Siska looked at it, but I'm not sure if she's going to do it. I think she's discounted it. So I'm not going to do it, but I like the idea. I think it's a fabulous idea. So it may figure in my plans for next year. I don't do bake-off stitching. I don't do gridiron gridiron grind, because obviously we don't have gridiron here. Well, you can watch gridiron, but I don't have a team, so to speak. I'm tempted, and for those Aussies that might watch me, you know, we have AFL here, right? So I'm tempted to do it next year for the AFL season, but that won't be till March, and just adjust it to pick. Not so much the number of kicks and all of that sort of stuff, but basically Fremantle Dockers, have one for the Fremantle Dockers, something probably like my Flamingo one or something, however many points they get times 10. Now, I'm also thinking, do I do the right thing? We've got 2 WA teams. Do I go for the Eagles? I don't know if I can do that. Fremantle Dockers. But I might have a second one for the Eagles and do their score as well. So it might be doing 2, and then have a third that will be the opposing team for either of the Dockers or the Eagles, and whatever score they get. So basically I would look at 3 whips. This is all just still gelling. I may not do it because I may just go, it's all too hard, I can't be doing. But I was thinking that would give me 3 whips that I would know that each week I can get some stitches on. And based on the fact that the poor old West Coast Eagles didn't do too well in the last couple of years, their scores aren't very high, so I can probably do this. The Dockers did quite well for this year. So, you know, I can get, if I do something like Flamingo, I know I can get some good stitches in it. And then their opposing team, I can choose maybe Descants or something like that, which I'm going to be working on anyway. So let's push the stitches along. So that's sort of, so it won't be gridiron grind. It'll be, I don't know what I would call it. I'm going to be really careful with some of the acronyms and what they might turn out to be. So we'll see. So that's a thing I'm thinking about for next year. HAED 2026 sale. I'll put up the latest reveal. So that all kicks off on Saturday. So as you can see in this latest reveal, there's some pretty, I'm just going to bring the pictures up. We can see quite a bit of what it's going to look like now, wherever it's hiding. Maybe I didn't put it up in here. And let's go back. Go back. And I know I had it. Yes, I did have it. So as you can see, there's not many stickers now covering the thing. I have identified a couple of them, and I think other people have too, but definitely number one, I'm going to go across the row. So 1, 2, 3. So number one, nah. Number 2, I know that's there is a larger piece in the HAED galleries for that. It's actually got 2 ships. I've looked at that many years ago, and no, it just like it scares me. The third one, I have seen the full design of that. Doesn't sort of take my fancy at all. The fourth one is a Dragon Muse, which I think is called Fairy Tale. That I do like. And the bigger picture is actually quite good, but that little crop looks quite nice. On the second row, there's some dragonflies, which I'm not sure who that designer is. It could even be another dragon. I don't think it'd be a Dragon Muse, but it may be just an AI one. I'm not sure. Pretty, but no, it's a bit much like the jellyfish one. It was nice, but not quite my aesthetic. The second one in the second row, yes, but no but. So the third one in the second row, yes, it's got feel of Kincaid about it. I doubt it's a Kincaid. I could be wrong. They might put a Kincaid in this year. But it has a Kincaid-y feel. So that's in my list of possibilities. The fourth one on the second row, nah, too much sort of sepia toning, so I don't think so. I believe the third one on, the first one on the third row is somebody identified that as, I think, The Sun by Edward Muntz or something like that. Look, it is nice, but no, not really what I do. I'd like to see more of that owl. That owl looks quite cute. So I don't know, be nice to see when that sticker goes away. the skulls, nah. And the dandelions, well, they're pretty, but no. So I have 3 that is that 3? 2. Yeah, 3. So the dragon muse in the top corner, the cottage one in the second row, and potentially the owl in the third row. Once they're fully revealed, and we know what we have to do, not that I'd stick to it because, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, so I'm tossing up between definitely the dragon muse and that cottage and the owl. I just need to see what else it's going to look like. So we'll see what it costs, what the expectation is and how big they are. But I'll probably still join anyway and choose one of them and just do what I've done for Bernadette. It took me 2 years, or it's going to take me 2 years. Deskins is probably going to take me 3 years. So, you know, I'm not going to stress over it. We'll see what it is. And that is me done. Yeah, that's pretty much me done. I haven't got anything else I don't think that I need to talk about. So I will pack up, go and edit and get this uploaded, and hopefully it will be uploaded this afternoon. And then, yeah, I'll start stitching. So thank you very much for liking, subscribing, and thank you so much for those people who do comment. I really appreciate it. I have tried to keep up with the responses, and I think I've got a couple more to respond to today, which I'll do shortly. But I do appreciate the interaction. It's lovely to have that interaction. I really appreciate it. And I will talk to you again next week. So yes, I will be back next week. I think I'm getting into a rhythm now of doing weekly updates, so we're going to stick to that plan. So again, thank you very much for visiting, liking, commenting and subscribing, and I'll see you in a week's time. Thank you. Catch you later. Bye.